Gypsy Rose is online on TikTok talking mad shit about the women that she was in prison with, that honestly it seems like she didn't even know the most of them. The next 10 minutes is going to be one of Gypsy's TikToks. I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip. I decided to insert it for not only like context as to what I'm going to be speaking about, but also why not watch it here instead of putting money in Gypsy's pockets. So if you don't want to watch the video, skip to like the 11-minute mark or 10:30 mark and you'll get to my words.
So I was in prison with a lot of the women that were on this show called I Am a K-Word on Netflix. And I remember, like, Kimberly Duncan, I knew her, kind of. We weren't friends or anything. But she was on my housing unit and my wing a few doors down from me. I'm going to kind of share a couple of stories with each of the women that are on this show. So Kimberly Duncan, how should I say this? She's just one of those people that is just super negative all the time, and that's really all that I can say about her. So this is Gemma Donahue. I personally didn't know her all that well. I probably only met her maybe once. She was one of those girls that was in like the mean girl clique. She was best friends with a woman that I personally did not get along with and had problems with. So she ran with that clique, the clique that kind of like always feels like they're better than everybody else, and, you know, they're hot shit because they're, I don't know, lifers or some shit. So there's a hierarchy in prison, and lifers have like so much clout or whatever, you know, ranking, I guess, if you want to call it that. So, I have not watched her story yet, but I'm just noticing that she is on this show. So this is Vicky, Victoria Smith. I really personally don't know her, but she has a pink shirt on. So the pink shirts are, if you're in a program called Beauty for Ashes, which is a Christian-based program, and you complete the program, you get a pink shirt. So I do know that about her. I think she worked for Restorative Justice, which is like a little program that they have in prison, making blankets for charities. I mean, from what I know, you know, she did stuff in prison to better herself, as far as I know. Like I said, I don't have any negative run-ins with her. I really just didn't know her all that well. Okay, so I moved on from the Netflix show, and I actually wanted to talk about a certain case. So this is 2020. Unpause it. And I was in jail for a year with this woman named Diane Stoddy. And I knew her a lot better than I knew the other women. And I can attest to the fact that, like, I know I'm no one to talk, but I am allowed to have my opinion about the women that I did time with. And she legit is the creepiest woman that I have ever met. She literally is that dead behind the eyes. She her son, her husband, and attempted to her daughter. Her oldest daughter is her co-conspirator on the crime. And so anyway, my experience with her is, this is one of those women that prison is truly built for. She hemmed her family for no reason, just simply because she was tired of being a wife and a mother. There was no abuse. There was no reason other than she just felt like it. So, yeah, prison is truly built for people like her. Usually I have a heart for anyone's story. She is not one of them. So, I can literally attest to the fact that she's super creepy. She has no remorse. She doesn't take accountability. And in prison, her behavior is still very creepy. She doesn't talk very much, and she just literally has no soul. So this is Alyssa Bamante. She was, I think, 14, if I'm not mistaken, when she got tried as an adult for hemming a little girl, and because she felt like it. So she's one of the youngest people that, like, I know that went to prison. She's in Chillicothe Correctional Center, and I didn't know her all that well. Like, I'm trying to find like an interview of her instead of like all this recap stuff. She is that disturbed, still to this day. So what I know of her, she has a lot of girlfriends in prison, because she is cute, you know. She kind of has like Justin Bieber kind of like hair flip thing going on. So she used to get a lot of girlfriends, but her relationships with her girlfriends, they're very like toxic, and I would call them like the blood schmex cult, because they would be into like some vampire shit, and like at themselves and lick the blood. That would be like their thing with her. So that's like what I know about her in prison, to be honest. Other than that, like, I didn't really know her all that well. I knew her girlfriends better than I knew her. And we all know my really good friend Amelia Bird, which I have actively spoke out about our friendship very early on after my release. She's one of my best friends, and I advocated for her support and also for her to get a pardon or clemency. I truly advocate for her. I haven't been able to speak for her since I've been on parole, but I am looking forward to being able to reestablish that friendship in 2 months. I care so much for her. I'm so happy she dumped that crazy bitch Zora. So anyway, she's one of my really good friends, and I truly have a heart for her and everything that she had went through, and I believe that she is one of those people that really just got the raw end of the justice system's shit stick. And so, yeah, I think if you guys want to support someone, look into her case. I know it's a lot about me because I have actively advocated for her. So there is a lot of YouTube videos that are tied to me as well. So lastly, I want to talk about this woman. Her name is Tasha Morton. And a lot of you have actually already read about my experience with her. In my book, My Time to Stand, I talk about a bully. This is her. And I'm going to share a few short stories with you guys, really short, about my experience with her. So she was my roommate back in 2018. We were roommates for a couple months. And in that time of being roommates together, she tried to manipulate me against my family or my family against me. She passed Ken's phone number, went into my mail, found Ken's phone number, and passed it around to the entire prison. So a lot of women were calling him, hitting him up to be their trick or try to get money from him. She planted schmazer plates in my best friend's locker to get her sent to the hole. She stole from me multiple times. So in prison, makeup is like a gold mine. They sell certain kinds of makeup on commissary, so they don't sell eyeshadow, but they do sell foundation. So she went into my locker, stole my foundation, then resold it back to me. I bought it and then stole it again. Watered down my shampoo, snitched on me multiple times. She outed me for me actually giving myself a tattoo, so she's the one that snitched me out. So it was all coming to a head when finally she and I finally got into a verbal altercation where she came up to me and was like, "Bitch, go on somewhere." And I was like, "Who you calling bitch?" And I sized her up. She sized me up. We got in each other's face, and her best friend had to come split us up. And that was the day that I realized I had a powerful voice, that I realized that my size didn't dictate my level of confidence, that I could speak my mind, stick up for myself against a bully. And in prison, you really are, like, you have to be aggressive in order to be heard. And so all leading up to that point, I was very quiet, very shy, very meek, stuck to myself, would have one or two friends that I would hang out with. Other than that, I would sit alone. I was just a loner. And so from then on, I realized that I could have a voice and speak my truth, speak my mind, and didn't have to cower beneath someone like this. So to recap,
I can't tell what I think is funnier or more entertaining. The fact that Gypsy Rose says multiple times throughout that video, well, I don't really know her that well. Like, I didn't really talk to her. I really don't know much about her, but then forms an opinion or talks shit on these women. Or the fact that Gypsy Rose herself is an unaliver and she's literally doing a 10-minute TikTok about how she doesn't like all of these other unalivers. She's like, you can have your thoughts about me, but I'm entitled to having my opinion. Your opinion's kind of null and void. And also, what's the purpose? You literally said so many times, I really don't know her, but like, you know, this is her. Like, that's not being an advocate at all. And also, you're just talking shit about people you genuinely don't know. And like, you even said that, I don't know them. Gypsy also goes on to saying, this is one of the creepiest women I've ever had to meet in my life. One of the women unalived her husband, her son, and then I believe tried to unalive one of her other daughters. And her co-conspirator was her oldest daughter. And Gypsy's like, she is so creepy. She's dead behind her eyes. She took zero accountability, shows no remorse. Gypsy, when have you ever shown remorse? Because any times that you've talked about Dee Dee, your mother that you had unalived, you're like, it's so sad, but not a single tear has fallen from your eye. So I'm really not seeing your remorse. And as far as accountability, you are so comfortable saying, I don't identify as an unaliver, as an M-worder, because I didn't actually commit the act. Someone else did it for me. So it's giving you haven't taken accountability either. You just say that you have taken accountability, but there's no footage or documentation of you actually taking accountability. Gypsy also goes on to talk about one of her friends from prison, Amelia, and she keeps reiterating that I am advocating for her. I have advocated for her. You can see on YouTube where we're tied together a lot because I advocate for her. I'm not sure, at least personally, I haven't seen where she has advocated for Amelia, because the last I heard, she went on Kim Kardashian to advocate for Amelia, but she just didn't have the time to actually talk about Amelia, so she just talked to Kim Kardashian about herself and her own case and Kim Kardashian and what she does. Like, I'm not seeing any advocacy for Amelia, so I think it's really weird that she kept reiterating in her TikTok, I'm an advocate for her, she's a great friend, I can't wait to reestablish our friendship. Last time I heard, she was pissed as fuck at you because you said your whole purpose to seeing Kim Kardashian and doing an interview with Kim Kardashian was to talk about Amelia and try to get her clemency or something like that and see if Kim Kardashian could personally help Amelia, yet you didn't do that at all. So I'm really curious as to see what Amelia has to say whenever her and Gypsy try to become friends again, or like Gypsy tries to reestablish a friendship, because last time I heard, she doesn't fuck with you, girl. That whole video was honestly screaming a pot calling the kettle black, because you literally are an unaliver judging other unalivers, you know what I mean? And again, you don't know most of them, and that's what you kept reiterating, and it's just like, that's crazy. Like, how can you commit the crime and you're like, I'm gonna make a 10-minute video talking about all these other people that did basically the same shit that I did? That's gonna see, the people watching this are gonna be like, wow, she's so right, like, she's so woke, she knows unaliving someone is wrong because she's talking shit about other women that unalived people in their families or people that they don't know. It doesn't matter why they unalive their person, and honestly, you either, because one of your statements were like, it wasn't because of abuse, it wasn't because of this, it's just because she wanted to. You didn't unalive your mom because of abuse either, girl. It's literally been proven that 99.8% of the things that you have said regarding abuse that you endured is false. Abuse wasn't even spoken of until you got with your attorney and they had to spin a good story and give you a good reason to unalive your mother. The real reason you unalived your mother is because you wanted a piece of sausage, because you wanted to go be with a man, and you wanted to be with a man whenever you wanted to be with a man, not just in a movie theater bathroom, babe. Your mom knew that the con was ending and your mom wanted to come clean. Y'all were under investigation for fraud by, I believe it was the FBI, and your mom's like, fuck it, like, I'm sick, I'm about to probably pass away within the next few years, I'm too tired to keep up the con. You were taking care of your mother and you were just sick of it. You didn't want to take care of your old, like, crippled ass mother. You wanted to go catch a sausage, you know what I mean? So that's why you unalived her. It kills me that people still run with the narrative that Gypsy Rose was abused so bad and so poorly, but abuse was never mentioned until she got with her attorney, and her attorney's like, how do we spin this to get you out? That's what attorneys do. Do y'all know what attorneys do? They try to win their fucking cases, no matter how they have to win it. Yeah, is it legal? No. But if they can prove it, or at least get the jury to be like, yeah, I mean, Gypsy didn't have a jury, she didn't go to trial, but if an attorney can get some sort of sympathy and reduce a sentence, that's a win. They get more money, they get more credibility, which gets them more money and more jobs. Like, what are y'all missing here? I don't know. I just found the whole thing honestly hilarious and also insane that you would make a 10-minute video about all of that shit thinking that you ate, when in reality you look dumb as hell, girl.